Danny, hey,
Hey, what's up, Holmes?
hey, you know what? It's a pleasure speaking to you. And this time around, we're speaking to you about this new animated film, Gracie and Pedro, Pets to the Rescue.
God, funny, amazing, a lot of action. It's all about the message for me was that anything is possible if you get along. Together you can accomplish anything. Because at first, all they do is fight dogs and cats, right? And I am the voice of reason, believe it or not. And they took away my machete and gave me teeth. And it's kind of a buddy story, but they don't start out as buddies. They end up as, you know what I mean? It's like they fight all the way, and they don't realize that they have to work together in order to get it done.
It is such a wonderful story itself, but you play Lawrence, which is the fish in
Yeah.
what you voice Lawrence, which is the fish in this film. Tell us more about this character because I want to say, like what you said, the voice of reason, but he also kind of narrates their
Oh yeah.
story.
Well, you know what? He's a narrator, but he's the voice of reason, but he's sarcastic, and he's he's not, doesn't sound too friendly, but he is the voice of reason, and he's narrating these two as they're going. So it's a really kind of exciting film, and I like it because there's some parts that are scary, but no violence, and I just got off of Seven Cemeteries, which which speaks for itself.
You know what? It is funny. I covered that junket speaking to a few of your castmates on that, and it is very opposite in its own
No,
way.
I love that. I love it. Susan Sarandon, yeah. Some of the cast is so cool. Uh, Here's the cast: Susan Sarandon, Bill Knightley, Brooke Shields, who's been a movie star since she was like 13, and Alicia Silverstone, that's her, and Al Franken. This is like the cast, and they're like all unbelievable in this.
Now, the great thing about this film is we all love animals, especially animated animals. I want to hear to know Danny better. Are you yourself an animal lover? Because we've seen you in so many films, and you voice animation, but what about animal loving
Okay,
yourself?
give me that picture of all the dogs over there. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I adore animals, and I'm a dog rescuer. I've had up to 9 dogs. Here's a picture that my son took of my menagerie,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and he got them all on the couch, all looking forward. I don't know how he did it, but he's a director now, so that's how he's good. Yeah,
Well, this is
and I love we rescue dogs all the time.
how do you raise all these animals at your house? I mean, just between in this film, the dog and the cat don't even get along.
Yeah, I got a big yard, and it's funny. It's like dogs seem to kind of know when they're at home and when they're supposed to get along. And God, none of my dogs. The only 2 dogs that I've ever had clash was Cash, who was a big Rottweiler Lab mix, and Gilbert. What was John Wesley? John Wesley was like a little,
He was like a terrier
like a
mix.
terrier mix, and those two would go at it. They both were alpha,
You
but
you
other
certainly
than that, it's like they all get along.
you certainly love have a fun-loving family yourself, and that's the theme of this film. But
Absolutely.
tell us about joining on board. What you know being part of an animated film that tells wonderful children's stories like this one.
You know what? That's one of the joys. I mean, it's like being selfish. It's like you do a kids movie, you've got a fan for life. I mean, I people come, God, I loved you in Spy Kids. They're already adults. They've seen me in all these movies because of this movie they saw when they were young. So it's really I love doing them because, like I said, it's like you have a fan for life, and this one is people are gonna really love it. I mean, it is just such a warm movie.
When you pick these projects, you don't do it for your kids because but you do it for the other younger generations that will remember it from down the road.
Absolutely. You know what? When I do a movie, I just look at the message. It's like when I first started, uh, I made a promise that the bad guy dies. That's all. If I'm a bad guy, I don't get away. And so I died more than anybody on screen, and because I was the bad guy. And then it's like the first movie that I think I lived in. I forgot. But I got even. I got even in Machete. I killed so many people, and then in Machete Kills, I want Robert to do Machete Kills in space, but he won't get it. He won't do it.
Hey, as we were continuing, you were talking about the dying in these films. So I wanted to ask you is what changed in your career from because you hold I want to say you hold one of the the most amount of deaths on screen and off screen. But what changed for yourself in your career that you wanted to do more wholesome, down to earth
Well,
film?
I didn't do anything. They changed me. They said, "Hey, wait a minute. This guy's got a lot more than just dying." And uh, my my career, I started like just doing, different things. I did Machete. I was the lead, and I did God, man, I just kept. I did Machete, Machete Kills. I did Spy Kids. I think Robert Rodriguez had a lot to do with me not dying in movies.
Hmm.
And that was kind of cool. But the quicker you die, the more you can go to another movie and get paid again. So,
That is so true. And what about your turn into doing voice acting yourselves? Because you a lot of people don't realize you do a lot of voice acting and appear in a lot of animation films itself.
yes. You know what? I started doing voice acting with video games. Man, way back when God, Escape from Miami or something. The first it was almost like the Pong era, when video games just started. They were really antique. And then I just kept on with these video games, and I became a pretty well known in that era because I remember kids come, "Hey, I fought you in this. Hey, I shot you in there." And so I see the people who shot him,
So
But
nowadays,
so, but that's
yeah. And nowadays for yourself, do you enjoy being in the booth voice acting more than live action? Because you still do both.
no, no. You know what? I love being on a movie set because a movie set it's like a little family, and you make friends. And I've got some great, great friends. I got a friend of mine, Donald Logue, and we've done films together, and he's just a great guy, man. In fact, he helped me write my book. He was the only one that could do it, and because writers writers seem to love words, but a lot of them can't just do street words, like prolific. Prolific to me always meant a bunch, you know, and so I don't know if that's what it means, but it was like Donald Logue grew up in Calexico, which is right next to the border, and so they don't even have streets; they got alleys, and so we knew, I did this book with him for about two chapters. I gave it to my kid's mom. She said, "This is like talking to you. This is like talking to you." And so cool. That's so me and him ended write this book. He's a wonderful friend of mine, and it made number two on the bestseller, which was awesome. And then my cookbooks are all doing good. They were in their 10th printing, so that's cool. And the the restaurants are doing great, and we started one in London, England, on Portobello Road, and that one's killing it because London needs good food.
So true, Danny. And
Where are you at? You're in San Antonio.
I'm actually in Fresno.
Ah, love Fresno.
Yeah, I'm actually in Fresno right now. So, so Danny, how do you choose your projects now these days? Because you are still working in this business.
You know what? My agent, Gloria Hinojosa, she kind of chooses them for me. She knows what I'll do, what I won't do, my time and where I'm going, what I'm doing. And usually, if there's something she knows I want to do over here, then it's like she'll set it up. So I kind of listen to her more than me choosing, because me choosing, that means I have to sit down and see how much this time this is gonna take, and it's like too much. But I like for her to choose, because like I said, she'll tell me this is cool, let's do that. She'll give me usually like a choice of three, and give me a synopsis, and okay, give me that, yeah. And
Well said. Danny, let me wrap it up with one last question here because it doesn't seem like you're slowing down anytime soon. What keeps you going in this industry? Why don't you just retire and just stick with your restaurants and side business? What makes you motivated to keep pushing forward?
you know what? I seen a friend of mine who retired, and he was always in shape. God, man, it's like he's gotten fat. I mean, he's gotten overweight and I'm afraid. What am I gonna do? I love being busy. My daughter says, "Dad, if you're not busy, you're awful." 'Cause you get cranky. And so as long as I'm busy, I got antique cars. I got a restaurant. I got 5 restaurants. I got one in London. I got a record label that's doing really well. I got Coda the barber who's killing it, right? And then I got my Dodgers and my Rams.
Well, you know what? It's always a pleasure speaking to you, Danny. And I have to say, keep on being busy, and let's
Yeah,
watch those Dodgers go all the way then.
yeah, yeah. And if you're in Los Angeles, stop by my restaurant, Trejo's Cantina.
I love that restaurant. I will definitely stop by again. Thank you very much, Danny. Really appreciate
God
this.
bless you. Thank you so much.